Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So obviously we have a theme for today's video, and of course you've already seen the title for this video. It is going to be a Beetlejuice themed palette and I am so excited. I remember seeing, I don't remember what the article was from, but I just remember there was an article maybe a couple months ago talking about how Hot Topic was planning to release a palette that was shaped like a book. It was going to be the Handbook for the Recently Deceased. It was going to be a Beetlejuice themed palette and I was so excited about it, and I kept kind of, keeping an eye on things. I never could see any kind of release date, and they don't really give release dates for Hot Topic palettes, I've noticed. So I saw one of the Hot Topics, probably in California or something. Somebody posted on Instagram a picture of the palette from there that they'd already gotten it in stores. So of course I started immediately calling all of my stores and none of them had it. And finally this weekend, about a week later, I finally found one of the palettes. So here it is. I'm so excited about this one. I think it's super cute. And I think this one is actually gonna surprise you because I've already done the swatches and let me just say, they're pretty good. So yeah, this is what the book looks like. You've got Handbook for the Recently Deceased. It has a little binding. On the back, you've got your ingredients. It always has a little blurb about how to use eyeshadow. Thanks for telling us. And then the regular parts of the binding are just the traditional stripes like Beetlejuice's outfit. So when you open it up, you have a mirror on one side, super cute, and then the shadows are all shaped like coffins. And of course you've got the black and white stripes behind it. I really like this palette. I love the colors they chose. I was really in the mood to do a colorful look soon anyways, because I feel like the last couple looks I've done have been very warm tone fall looks, so I'm really glad that this palette will give me something fun and colorful to play with. As far as the price goes, this one, just like all the other ones, retails for $16.90, and of course you can always get it on sale. When I bought it this weekend, they were having a big buy one get one half off sale, so I just picked up 2 items. Actually I picked up more than that, but I got a really good deal on everything that I purchased, so obviously always look for a sale. But yeah, I think this one is definitely a good price, especially when you consider some of the other ones were around this price. And I feel like with this one, you're getting a lot better quality shadows. And of course you're getting this really cute book style palette, which of course you guys know I love. So I'll be able to add this to my collection over here. So let me go ahead and roll the swatch clip that I took and then I'll get into the eye look. Okay guys, here are all the swatches. We have Afterlife, Juno, Dante's Inferno, Lydia, Beetlejuice, Miss Argentina, Shrunken Head, Bio Exorcist, Darkroom, It's Showtime, Sandworm, and then this one is called Strange and Unusual. So I'm actually really impressed with this palette as a whole as far as how it's swatched. None of the shimmers seem too chunky. This one maybe would come off a little chunky, but I think if you wet it, it would be fine. But the rest of these worked really nice as a finger swatch. So I think if I apply them to the eyes, I might use my finger instead of a brush. The mattes built up really nicely. Some of them were a bit more sheer than others, these two in particular. So Darkroom and Strange and Unusual, they were incredibly sheer. I mean, this is probably like 7 layers of color just so it would show up like this. So I guess that what makes it kind of a good option for your crease, like transition area, but it's just a little disappointing. The rest of them though are absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to see how they perform on the eyes. I'm starting out with the primer potion from Urban Decay. I'm putting this all over the lid and I am gonna leave it tacky. Then I'm jumping into Beetlejuice with a tiny detail brush and I'm gonna start focusing this on the inner portion of the crease. I'm kind of packing that color in first and then blending it a little bit. Then into the shade Bio Exorcist. This is going on the outer half of the crease and I am blending it together with the Beetlejuice shade in the center. And then I'm going to kind of flare it out and make a little kind of tail on the outer portion of the eye. Back into Beetlejuice, I'm going to use this to blend out the Bio Exorcist color, working more on top of it and then making sure that I really blend out that tail area with anything that's left on the brush. Then with my Tarte Shape Tape, I'm going to cut the crease all the way, including all the way to that little tail area, and then fill in the entire lid. And I'm just going to use my finger to pat out that outer portion. Going right on top of that with the shade Afterlife, I'm just using a flat fluffy brush. This is completely dry, and I'm just packing it on top of that still tacky concealer, which really helps the color to grab. I also decided to put this on the inner corner, dragging it a little bit above and below as well. Then into the shade Miss Argentina, I'm using this on a small flat angled brush, and I'm just kind of lining where that cut crease goes. I am layering this up so that the color really stands out. Next up is the shade It's Showtime, and I'm using this on a flat angled liner brush, which I did spray with setting spray, and honestly I oversprayed it, which meant I had to kind of build the color up a little bit more than I probably should have, so don't overwet your brushes. Next is the Dark Room. I'm using this on a pencil brush to really smoke out that lower lash line, and I'm also bringing it a little bit onto the outer portion as well. Next up for liner, I'm using the Fenty Fly Liner just to do a black wing that kind of mimics the top little wing that I created. And I also decided to go ahead and elongate the inner corners. So I'm just working in really short, tiny strokes here, making a nice little inner point, and then I'm filling it in with black. Then I dipped back into Darkroom just to run that right underneath the wing that I just created. Then I'm using the Lottie London AM to PM black pencil just to fill in the waterline. Next up, I'm using the NARS Climax Mascara for the top and bottom lashes. Then I'm finishing off the look with the Space Queen lashes from Alien Cosmetics. And then I decided to add a little bit more of the Fenty Gloss Bomb in the shade Diamond Milk. I was already wearing this, but I'm just adding a little additional layer. Alright guys, so this is the finished look and I'm so happy with the way that it turned out. It was really easy to work with all of these shadows. So I definitely have to say that out of all the ones that I used in this look, I am not disappointed by any of them, including that matte purple, which I was incredibly disappointed by the swatch. You know, just using it as something simple as blending out that lower lash line, I feel like it gives it a really beautiful smoky depth. So that just kind of shows that you can still use these shadows, even the two that are a bit more of a sheer color. I would imagine that maybe if you did something like Sandworm on your lower lash line, then you could smoke out this grayish black underneath it, knowing that it's a bit on the sheer side. So yeah, I definitely want to play around some more with this palette. Maybe I'll post something on Instagram in the next week or two, because I love the red and the orange tones. I just definitely wanted to stay away from that after my last few looks being very fall appropriate. And of course, when I think of Beetlejuice, my first thought goes to the colors of like white and green and black and purple. So that's what I wanted to embrace here, and I'm super happy with the way that this turned out. I mean, really, I'm actually still just shocked. So I will say that, you know, I have my favorites of the Hot Topic palettes. You know, some of them are better than others, but I definitely think this one falls up there with the best. This is probably one of the better formulas that they've ever come out with, and I really hope that this means that they've taken a step to improving their formulas, and hopefully the rest of the palettes they come out with will continue to be this good. You're still not getting the quality of a palette you would pick up at Sephora, so don't go into it thinking that. Just think of this as maybe drugstore quality. I would say that this probably is very comparable to like a NYX palette as far as the shadows are really pretty, the mattes were really easy to blend. I was really surprised that I was able to get this white on my lid to be as gorgeous and shimmery and opaque as it is without even wetting the brush, because you guys know that pretty much always are wetting a brush with the shimmers in these palettes. So I do think that they have changed the formula a bit, or maybe they're just having somebody else make these palettes now, but this one is a really good quality. So if you are interested in a fun, colorful palette, if you love Beetlejuice, this is definitely going to be a good one to pick up, and definitely, you know, try to get it on sale or do the buy one, get one half off with something else that you're interested in, just because, I mean, $16.90 is still a good price, but you can definitely get it cheaper. So, but this I definitely will say is one of the best ones you'll probably find at Hot Topic, so I recommend it 100%. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and thank you guys for watching. Bye!